welcome Questlove.
How you doing? How you doing? What's up? Hey, how you doing? So good to see you. How are you?
I'm good.
What's up, y'all? How you doing? How you doing? Shall I sit down?
Yes, sit down.
Hi.
I gotta tell you, Quest, it's like, I almost didn't recognize you because you're so, like, you and your drums are attached at the hip.
Exactly.
And I talked about this on the show. I was so embarrassed because we were both at Janet Jackson's concert.
Yeah.
And you came up to me and I you know, you called yourself Amir.
Right.
And I was confused. I literally was. Do you remember that?
Yeah, absolutely remember. It's like when I'm not on the clock,
Yeah.
like normalcy. I just want a normal life, and you know, we're friends.
Right.
When I introduce you when I introduce myself as Amir, that means like we're friends now. We're connected.
Okay, now I didn't know I had gotten into that level
Yes.
of the friendship with you. And you said Amir, I was like, Amir? I just thought you, and okay, so thank you very much for like upgrading me. I appreciate that with you.
And then, weird enough, you introduced me to John.
Yes, John
and
Murray.
I thought he was from Philly, because I'm from Philly, and that's
Yes.
our word, John.
John, exactly.
Like the Eagles won that John on Sunday.
That is it.
Yeah,
I gotta tell you, between the Tonight Show and the Roots, music is just like a constant part of your life. Like, when did you fall in love with music?
Look, I was raised by two parents that, you know, because in the 70s, they didn't believe in like babysitting first, and my father was an oldies doo-wop singer back in the 50s.
Okay.
So by the time I was born, that was his nostalgia era, where they're still playing at Madison Square Garden, all those places like where they get the acts of the day to celebrate yesteryear. And I just joined the family act. Like when I was 5, I was the family GPS. You know, and then when I was 12 at Radio City, my dad's drummer got in a motorcycle accident, and my dad was like, well, you know the show. Get a suit.
Really?
So they took me to Macy's on 34th. I got a suit jacket, and then I led my dad's band at the age of 12, and I never stopped. So,
Wow.
Yeah.
And you were playing the drums then. Like, you know, so how many instruments do you play?
I mean, I could play everything,
Okay.
but you know, drums is my meat and potatoes.
That's the meat and
That's my
potatoes.
main joint.
Because I just love the journey that you take us on when you play. And I saw you play at SNL's 50th anniversary.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
First of all, I watched you on SNL, but I didn't have any idea, you know, that you loved SNL so much. So, like, what does comedy do for you? You like that comedy, huh?
I love comedy, but my falling into the SNL stratosphere, because, you know, they tape in the same building that the Tonight Show's in.
Yeah.
So I'm always on the 8th floor, sneaking in the shows and all that stuff. And that's why Lauren let me direct the documentary for music. But basically, you know, like Soul Train was always a 12 in the afternoon thing for Black America. Philly was the one market between like 75 and maybe 82 that Soul Train was a 1 a.m.
show.
thing.
Yeah.
So but my parents were cool enough to wake me up at midnight. You know, 5 years old, wake me up at midnight, go to bed at 8:30, but we'll wake you up at midnight, and then I will watch the last half of SNL, and then watch Soul Train till 2, and then I better be up for church.
And be ready to go.
Yeah.
No excuses.
So, yeah, but my parents would always wake me up after midnight to watch someone do music.
Right.
That's how much they wanted music to be a part of my life.
Just a part of your life.
Yeah.
And you got your documentary, because you love SNL so much and the music. It's called Ladies and Gentlemen, 50 Years of SNL Music.
Yes.
And so this documentary, it highlighted the music over the years. So like, when you think about all of the music that SNL had, you know, the performers that have been featured, is there one that you have a specific memory of?
I mean, SNL was probably the prime spot in which you can watch your favorite music act, or a music act that was about to be your favorite, perform live, not just lip sync on a show or whatever. And so many game changers. Like I remember Prince's first performance in 1980.
Oh man.
But like so many game changing performances have you know, occurred over the years. So I will say that Prince is my favorite. Next, I'm predicting The Roots will be my second favorite once.
Yeah, because you haven't performed. the Roots does not perform
Technically,
on the
we
show.
have. I mean, you know, we did something with Busta Rhymes once,
Okay.
and like Toots and the Maytals, but never the Roots proper. So
Okay, so
I'm,
y'all.
I'm using that documentary as my audition.
Oh, I like
Because
that.
the Roots album will come out later this year. We haven't done an album in like 10 years. So,
This is what I love. You using that, you using your album as your audition. I'm using this piece with you as my audition.
We are
'cause I want to
manifesting.
host.
We're
I want to
manifesting.
host, and you be the musical performer.
we're manifesting. Yes. We're manifesting.
You know what? And we're manifesting. And speaking of hosting, we share something very in common.
Ah.
We both love hosting game nights at our
Yes.
place. So you started.
I've not gotten an invite to yours yet.
Well, I have. Well, I want to invite to yours because you host game nights for celebrities. Yeah, you got. Like,
You're my favorite. Look.
I know, but I never get invited to you. I don't get to play with Taylor Swift.
All right, we'll invite
Look at
that.
you. You got,
okay,
you got
the
Trevor
evidence.
Noah. You got Taylor Swift up in there.
Yeah, the evidence. All right.
Okay, yeah. So the next time you have Trevor Noah, I really need you to call me.
Yo, what is it? You know what? I never knew that Trevor was that popular. The amount.
Really?
Trevor brings all the women to the yard. Like literally.
He does bring them to the
Half
yard.
the people that attend it always starts with, is Trevor gonna be there?
And I'm telling you, like, because Sam J, the comedian, told me about your parties. But here's the thing: your game nights are different from mine because we tell people, you do like amazing gifts, and we tell people that y'all's is a $20 minimum.
Sure.
We give away scarves and things. But I love it. But see, y'all playing like Uno, okay? Now this is where my game nights differ.
Spades.
Wes, we play spades. We cut you.
Listen.
We cut you.
Look, my first time in LA when I threw game night,
Yeah.
and I forgot who came up to me, but they were like, where the cards at? And
That's what it is.
I forgot. So literally,
We spades. See, y'all do is y'all
we play
reverse
spades
and
now.
draw two. So
No,
like,
we play spades now, but yes,
okay.
Trust me, next time I'll have the spades.
Okay,
card.
we there. All
Yes,
right.
yes.
We there.
Yes.
This is what I'm excited about. I love it when you do documentaries, because the Summer of Soul, I just have to say, I got to give you all the props.
Thank
it was
you.
so beautiful,
Thank
and
you.
you won the Oscar for it. I
Thank you.
loved it so much. And then, because you learned so much, so I'm so excited about your new doc, Quest, because it's called Sly Lives, AKA The Burdens of a Black Genius.
Yes.
Tell us about it.
So look, the full disclosure is, and to be totally transparent, yes, I'm using Sly's story to tell a bigger story. Sly's success happens at a time period in which, like, Sly's success is different than Ray Charles or James Brown or Chuck Berry,
Yeah.
whoever came before him, because of the timing. Like, those acts couldn't sleep in the same hotels that they performed in or eat in the same restaurants or, you know the stories of
Yes.
post-civil rights, pre-civil rights. Sly, it's like what happens when you get everything that you ask for. And there's a long history of, especially with Black entertainers, of the feeling of guilt when you get successful.
Yeah.
Like you grew up with all your cousins and all your friends, but we're only going to choose you
That survivor's guilt, yeah.
for safety. So as a result, whenever anyone asks me like, well, why does da-da-da never show up or is late between shows or I'm guilty. Like, why is it 10 years between records? Why does this person self-sabotage? Why is this person dead? That person dead. This person in jail. That person in rehab.
Yeah.
So our method of wanting to self-medicate and self-soothe, like I got tired of the drug addicted, like troubled, he chose drugs once he got successful. This shows you the psychology behind the trepidation and the fear of why I've made this name them. Like
Any of the artists that you
Miss Lauryn Hill, could be Frank Ocean. SZA talks about the fear sometimes.
Yes.
Solange talked about it a lot. Like a lot of us.
So you focus on Sly, but it really could be any of these performers that we have heard about.
Anyone that's ever had success always has every morning I wake up like, even with the greatest things happen, like my movie's out and everything's great, and then I start thinking about reasons to feel guilty, like, oh man, my friends are lost their job. And so they ask like, why did I do Black Genius instead of Genius? Because it's kind of, our success is a little bit different, where it's more
Very
for
different.
historical reasons. So
absolutely,
yeah.
you know, and that's the kind of thing. It's watching, going through that, like you know, finding the similarities also when you're watching it. And I know that, you know, people, when they watch it, they're gonna fall in love, of course, with the music. That is who you are. So this music that is in the documentary, where can we hear more of it?
Well, you know, I mean, Sly has
so much.
What people don't know is that Sly literally invented the alphabet for which we are writing music. Like, he's the first person to use a drum machine, a first person to use multi-tracking. When we joke about bow chicka wow wow, like he's the first to use a wah wah pedal. So he literally invented the blueprint for which modern music is still happening
for
today.
Everybody who's using something.
Yes.
Yeah. Is the music like on a soundtrack or anything?
Yeah. So the soundtrack came out, but also Sly has like 8 amazing albums. So it's called Sly Lives. That's the cover. Yes, so we have a soundtrack to his music as well.
Is there anything about, you know, in this documentary about Sly that we didn't know about him?
The one thing I was shocked about, so Sly is from the Bay Area.
Yes.
And so they just think different regardless. You know, half the revolutionaries in Oakland, the hippies in San Francisco. So what I didn't know was that in 1961, like 9 years before Woodstock, before the Summer of Love, Sly Stone was a very popular radio disc jockey. And he was just, I don't know if you remember the movie Good Morning Vietnam with Robin Williams.
Robin Williams.
But sort of like you know, the idea of the morning DJ, what's up, and doing characters, and he would sing along to songs. If he didn't like an arrangement, he would just grab a mic and a piano and sing over the song, like how I think it should go. He was a very rogue comedic DJ. So he raised all those like 11, 12-year-olds listening with their transistor radios in the 60s will become the hippies of, so I didn't know how important Sly's role was in like the counterculture of, he's literally the unsung hero. Like, he's so omnipresent that he's invisible.
That he's invisible.
That we just take it like water. No one ever says like water is my favorite drink, because it's everywhere.
It's just everywhere.
But you take it away and then suddenly it's like, what's that, you know?
And that's Sly.
That's what Sly is, yes.
Wow. Wow, thank you. Thank you. And Quest, I would thank you so much for being here.
Yes.
I really appreciate it. I can't wait to come. Only when Trevor Noah's there.
And I will see you next game night.
I'll be there next game night.
Yes. Thank you, guys.
Your Sly Lives, AKA The Burden of Black Genius. It's streaming now on Hulu.
We're gonna have a good time. We're gonna have a good time.